What's going on, socialites? Ryan here, Commissioner, the Global Pokemon Society Draft League, back with another GPS Tracking, your Pokemon podcast for everything you need to know about the Global Pokemon Society and all things Pokemon news in general. We're going to hop right into some Draft League stuff. Season 6 starting to wind down. We're starting to get our playoff picture molded, but let me tell you, there's still a lot going on, and we're going to dive into that this episode too. So first, we're going to take a look at the standings here. Looking at our top 9 here on the screen. Now remember, top 10 make it to the playoffs. So we'll look at the bottom half in a second. But top teams right now, congrats to the Boston Braviaries, your Boston Braviaries, clinching the East Division, their third East Division title. Denver clinching the West Division, their fourth West Division title. Big congrats to them. And Pittsburgh, down there, number 5, clinching their second ever North Division title. So congrats to those 3 teams, all clinching their divisions. Memphis Muse and Vero Beach Volcarona both clinching playoff spots, as well as at least a bye week. But they are still fighting each other for who will get the South Division crown. As you see, still 3 teams undefeated. Boston, Denver, Memphis. Memphis did unfortunately have a forfeit victory, so they were not able to get any differential points this week. So that might hurt them when it comes down to tiebreakers at the end of the week for top seeds. But we'll have to see how things shake out. Of course, still a couple weeks left to go. Vero and Pittsburgh, both at 7-1. Vero's starting to pull away. You see that key game win that they have over Pittsburgh, as well as a higher differential. But really, for Vero, it's all going to come down to that final week against Memphis for that division crown. Next, in 6th place, we got the Driftvale City Dragapults, our lone 5-3 team, sitting in a pretty comfortable position to make the playoffs, but we'll go over that in a little bit. So we're going to scroll down here a little and look at our next cluster of teams. Let's get all these guys in here. These are all of our teams fighting for the last 5 playoff spots. We got 10 teams, all vying for 5 spots. As I said, Driftvale, very high chance to make it. Next, we got a bunch of 4-4 teams. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, sitting at 4-4. The 11-game wins is huge for them. That will help them in tiebreakers, as well as their very high differential. So they have a pretty good shot to make the playoffs. But they can't rest on their laurels. If they go 0-2, then, c'est la vie. That's it. But they need one win. And we'll go over those odds in a little bit. Then we got Black City and Tokyo. Interesting thing about these 2 teams, both sitting there at 8 and 9 right now, in playoff position. They play each other this week, so it's a very critical game. The winner of this game feels very comfortable. The loser is fighting for their life in the final week, and they both got tough matchups in the final week. Tokyo will have to take on the currently undefeated, Denver Ninetales, and Black City will have to take on the North Division leader, the Pittsburgh Poltergeist. So this could be the week that determines which team is going to get into the playoffs here. And then rounding out right now for the playoff position, number 10, the Oklahoma Thunderous. They also got a couple tough games to close out, so they got to take care of business there as well. Their game win differential is gonna be close. They have 9 game wins, but you see those other 4-4 teams also have 9, and we'll get to Waco, but Waco is 7, is still within striking distance if Oklahoma does end up going 5-5. So they would really like to at least get a match win and at least one other game win to really feel confident. But they can control their own destiny. These teams in the top 10, they can control their own destiny. You take care of your business, you're going to make the playoffs. Now, the outside looking in, we got the Charm City Charizards and the Buffalo Badoops. Again, this is a matchup where in the final week, these two teams will be playing each other. So both of them want to get a win this week, because a win this week and then beating their opponent, beating each other in the final week, will basically get them into the playoffs. So this is another week. They're not playing each other this week, but if you can win this week, it sets you up really good if you can beat your opponent in the final week between Charm City and Buffalo. So we'll look at that as well. Waco still got an outside shot. Like I said, they do have that 7-game win, so that does help them a little bit in some of these tiebreakers if they have some good games. And they actually play Buffalo this week, so if they can beat Buffalo, kind of leapfrog them in that process, and then they have a pretty easy matchup in the last week, so they just need to take care of that business, get up to 5-5, and then hopefully things shake out for them. But they got a pretty good shot. They need to take care of this game. That puts a lot of stress on Buffalo these next couple weeks, because they are playing two teams both fighting for these playoff spots in Waco and then Charm City. Now El Paso's got a tough road. Their differential really kills them, as well as their game wins. But yeah, their differential is a big hindrance. That means they need to definitely win out, go 5-5, and then have a lot of other crazy stuff happen. They go up against the Driftveil City Dragapults, who are looking to clinch their playoff spot this week, so that'll be a tough match. And then they finish it off against the mighty Psyduck. So that might be a winnable game. So it could come down to this week against Driftveil. Will they be able to get the win against the Dragapults? And our last team, I know, 2-6. You're like, he's out of it. Ryan, the Boston Braviers, you smacked him down last week. You put in the video, you said you ended this man's career. No, he still has a chance. In fact, again, when we look at the numbers, he has a slight, like a sliver of a better chance than El Paso make it, and that's because of those 9-game wins. While he has not won matches, he has won games. He has given trouble to teams. So if he can win out and some other things happen, again, we're going to break all that down coming up in a little bit, he still has a shot. Alex and the Laverntown Gangars could be the Cinderella story this season. We've seen it happen before. And then we got our poor slew of 1-7 teams. Really unfortunate here for these fallen teams. Diamond Desert Dwellers, they get a forfeit win this week. Seattle Shiny Sylveons with their second forfeit loss, I do believe. So they lose there. Daytona, though, gets a legitimate win, beating the Slateport Sableyes. Still, unfortunately, in last place due to differentials. But this is going to be an interesting last couple weeks. You know, see if any of these teams can maybe go up to 2-8, 3-7 maybe. You know, see if they can differentiate themselves, or if we just got a bunch of 1-7 teams. I gotta say, Ali, the My Psyducks, another disappointing season. You see the other 4 teams, they're all minor league teams. Maybe you thought they would struggle this season, but Ali, you've played with the big dogs and you've done reasonable. You are typically around 500 when it comes to the end of the season, and you know, very, very disappointed to see him down there in 18th place. So I've been teasing enough. We're going to take a look at these statistics. How can these 10 teams make these last 5 playoff slots? Let's take a look. All right, up here on the screen, you will see the graphic that completely breaks down the percentages based on our great team of statisticians here at the Global Pokemon Society, i.e. yours truly. I did take AP Stats, and I got a 4 on my AP Stats test. So, thank you. Thank you very much. Or was it a 5? I don't know. It was high. It was either the best grade or second best. Anyway, enough about me. Let's take a look at this. So, as we said, Dragapults, they just need a win, and they clinch it. They'll have 6 wins. They'll make the playoffs with that. And they're other tiebreakers. So 89% chance to get at least 1 win against El Paso or Daytona. Makes sense. They got a really good shot. Next up, we got PSG again, thanks to their great tiebreakers when it comes to games and differential. They just need one win against either the Memphis Muse or the Boston Braviers. Now, that is a tough task, and it's interesting how statistics play out. Our statisticians gave them a 35% chance to beat Memphis and slightly above a 40% chance to beat Boston. But they only need one. So they need one of those chances to happen according to our statisticians. So that gives them a 64% chance to get one win and make the playoffs. We'll see if it happens. This could be a very long shot, 64%, but we will see. Next up, so we're already dropping below 50% because this is where more weird things have to happen here. So Black City, they need to beat either Tokyo or Pittsburgh. It's a lot better if they just beat Tokyo. But they got to win at least one of those. And they need Buffalo and Charm City to go 1-1. So basically, like that's kind of a weird thing. If they beat Tokyo, then their percentage is way higher. But this is just, okay, if they can just get one win, and then if this other scenario happens, that gives them a good shot. But the statisticians give Black City about a 60% chance to beat Tokyo this week. So if they can do that, the odds are slightly in their favor, but it's still not perfect. So that's how that breaks down for Black City. Then we go to Oklahoma, right behind Black City with a 47% chance. They need to beat either Boston or Lavender Town. And then, again, you're going to see this a lot. Buffalo and Charm City need to go 1-1. So that's what they need, is to beat Boston or Lavender Town and have Buffalo and Charm City go 1-1 to really clinch that last spot. Tokyo, we're getting down to some lower numbers here, 32%. Again, this gets a lot better if they beat Black City, but they have to beat either Black City or Denver and then have Buffalo and Charm City go 1-1. The reason their percentage is so much lower than Black City's is that they are not favored in either of those games, while Black City is favored to beat Tokyo, so that really helps them in the percentage. So those are our 5 teams right now that are sitting in the top 10. So they're kind of, in control of their own destiny for the most part. These teams need more stuff to happen. So Charm City needs Black City or Tokyo to go 0-2. So whoever loses in this week's matchup between Black City and Tokyo, Charm City wants them to lose again. So if Black City loses, they want Pittsburgh to win. If Tokyo loses, they want Denver to beat them. And then Charm City has to handle their business at Buffalo. If that happens, then Charm City can squeak in there at the number 10 spot. That's the most likely scenario for them to get in there, 15% chance. Next up is Waco, actually. And this is because Waco gets to play, this is because Buffalo has to play against 2 playoff teams, and the first one being Waco. So, this is where it gets a little bit dicier. But you need Black City and Tokyo. One of them has to go 0-2. You need Oklahoma or PSG to go 0-2. You need to beat Buffalo and then have Buffalo lose to Charm City. Now, it looks like a lot, but because, again, the way statistics work, it's a little weird. It gives them a slightly above 11% chance for that to happen. Again, Oklahoma isn't exactly favored against Boston or Lavender Town. They're a little bit favored against Lavender Town, but not so much against Boston. PSG isn't favored in either of their matches, so it's likely that one of them will go 0-2. And again, it's likely that whoever loses in Black City or Tokyo, it's likely that they'll go 0-2. So that's why this percentage is so much higher if they can take care of their business here. And they have to beat Seattle too. I forgot to put that in there at the end, but I mean it's Seattle. They're gonna beat Seattle. All right, the Bidoofs. They have a 10% chance. They're pretty similar to Charm City, except they really want to beat Waco so that 11% basically becomes a 0%. I didn't write that in there, but they also want either Black City or Tokyo to go 0-2 and then to beat Charm City. They could lose to Waco and still come back, but it does help them if they can beat Waco, or at least go to 3 games with Waco. I think that would really help their percentage as well, but it's kind of close. All right, then we're getting down to the really, the Hail Marys. Laverne has 0.5% chance. This is all the crazy stuff they need to have happen. They need, again, Black City or Tokyo to go 0-2. Buffalo or Charm City to go 0-2. So again, it's more likely that Buffalo would go 0-2 in this. Have Waco go 1-1. So that maybe they want Charm City to go 0-2 because I think it's more likely that Waco would lose to Buffalo and beat Seattle, but they need Waco to go 1-1. And then they need Oklahoma to basically go 0-2 because they need Oklahoma to lose to Boston, and then Laverne has to beat Slateport, which is a given, and they have to beat Oklahoma. That's 0.5% chance for all that to happen. Seems like a lot, but hey, that's math for you. And then a 0.4% chance, so slightly under a half, is the chance for El Paso to make. Again, even though they're 3-5, their tiebreakers are just really, really bad. So they need to beat Driftvale and Psyducks. The Driftvale's the key one. That'll be a tough matchup for them. Have Buffalo go 2-0, beat Waco and Charm City. Have Black City or Tokyo go 0-2, and have PSG and Oklahoma go 0-2. And I think actually they need to... No, that'll be it. So yeah, that's a lot. So they need Buffalo to go 2-0. One of these teams to go 0-2, and then one of the PSG or Oklahoma to go 0-2 while they go 2-0. So that's a tall task for them, for sure. So yeah, let me know if one of your teams that you've been rooting for all season is up here on the list. If you think they have a better shot to make it, a worse shot to make it, etc. I don't know. It's just math. I know it looks weird, but based on our percentages, that's what it is. Can't argue with statistics, right? All right, let's take a look at our top 10 Pokemon after Week 8. All right, now we got our updated top 10 best performing Pokemon. Now, I will say it's interesting. You look at the top 6 out of this top 10, none of those teams have clinched a playoff spot yet. Maybe it's not about the top performing Pokemon when it comes to the top performing teams. Just a thought. Just a thought. We'll have to see how that could affect MVP voting. I personally think, you got to give credit to some of the teams like the 7-1, the 8-0 teams right now when you think about MVP voting. Like, I don't know. That's just me. But we'll see how it kind of shakes out here at the end. So Regigigas is still on the top. 22 KOs. It's definitely slowed down a lot. Slow starts, the complete opposite. It had a fast start, now it's slowing down. Porygon Z still sticking around there with 21 KOs. Zapdos bumping up into the 20s at even 20. Entei and Metagross both with 19 KOs. Landorus finds itself with 17 KOs. And we got 4 Pokemon with 16 KOs. Arctozolt of the Denver Ninetales. Eternatus for the Boston Braviaries. Tapu Koko, the Vero Beach Volcaronas. And Galarian Zapdos of the Boston Braviaries. So your Boston Braviaries now got 2 in the top 10. See how long that stays. But yeah, so some interesting stuff. Let me know who your favorite so far for MVP. Still 2 weeks left. crazy things can happen. But who do you have right now as your MVP vote? So let's take a quick look at some Pokemon news, though, that occurred this week. So we got some fun Pokemon news from all of our favorite games, including a couple of games that haven't been released yet. So we're going to hop right into Legends Arceus. Hisuian Zorua and Zoroark both revealed. We're going to take a quick look at this trailer. You see Zorua there. So cute. So what makes these really cool is their normal ghost typing. I'm kind of blocking that right there. Very interesting typing. Never seen before. Now, the sad story is that the Zorua came here long ago and all died because they couldn't adapt to the climate. And so Hisuian Zoroark is kind of like their spite from being forced out of their homeland. I think that they will have the illusion ability still, which is going to make them very, very interesting for sure. Because with all their immunities, hi, you wanna come up here? You wanna be on camera? Yeah, because with all of their immunities, that illusion ability is going to be very, very cool. All right, next we got Pokemon Unite. The Halloween event's been going on the past week. Greedent's been added. Very good character. Probably needs a little bit of tweaks. Yeah, that's the microphone. But it relatively fun event. You know, make sure you're getting your login rewards. It's kind of a little late at this point, but if you got a friend, you can still get plenty of the pumpkins, and you should do just fine with that. But yeah, overall good event. Let me know if you've unlocked or purchased Greedent and what you thought about that Pokemon. Very good. Kind of a weird defender. I think it'd be more of an all-rounder. That's right. You like Greedent? You like Greedent, you little squirrel? Alright, some Halloween news. Pokemon Go Halloween event going on. You can get a lot of fun Pokemon with their little costumes, everything. Gonna be getting Mega Absol raids, so look out for that. And then Darkrai raids should be starting soon if they haven't already. I know, Darkrai, spooky. And last but not least, not a lot of news coming out for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Yeah, you excited for the Platinum, what do they call them? Platinum style outfits? So yeah, if you pre-order, you can get some different outfits based on the Platinum games. I mean, I'm waiting for some more news because we want to have our next draft league be centered on these games. But yeah, that's it for Pokemon news. That's it for the Global Pokemon Society. Lily, can you say bye? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. No? Okay. Well, bye guys. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe for more Draft League content. And as always, stay classy. Say up now she wants to go. All right. See ya.